Welcome
Post.
to the world's greatest Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Mike L, and as always, I'm joined by...
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
Woo, that's right, and tonight it is cause for celebration because for the 9th time, we're going to have a special guest tonight in the form of Kevin Jank.
That's right. Kevin Jank.
Good evening.
My hope pal Kevin Jank. The LCS
Hey, how's
Hockey
it going,
Radio
guys?
Show. Yeah, look at 9 times. Now, we were just talking about this right before we went live on the air, but I believe you are now tied with our buddy Miles Watson for 9 career appearances on Flea Market Fantasy.
Yeah. I'll whoop him sooner or later.
Yeah. Now,
I'm also curious. I think 5 appearances with the smoking jacket. So what do you get at 10?
well, we take the jacket back.
Yeah.
But I think
Gotta recycle.
what we might have to do, Michael, is since they're tied, getting to 10 will be a pretty big deal. Maybe, we could either have them have a knife fight to see who gets to be on the first, or what about we have them both on for their
Whoa, that would be interesting,
Oh.
yes.
well, that might have to be considered. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Titans
But,
collide.
For
It'll be
this
a real
week, though,
contest of champions.
that's right. For this week, Kevin Jank, tell the kids what we will be reading.
We're going to be reading Contest of Champions number 3, 1982, I believe.
That is correct. 1982.
Yeah.
Now, why did you pick Contest of Champions issue 3?
Why not?
All right.
It's something you guys haven't done yet.
like-
I didn't want to just, keep always picking X-Men books, so I figured I'd branch out a little bit. And this had a little bit of X-Men in it, but,
Yeah.
not so much.
Had you ever read this before this week, Jack?
Actually, no. I have read
Mhm.
Contest of Champions 2 from, 99. I also read, the 10-issue Contest of Champions series that was in, 2015. So I read that, but
Wow.
I've never read the original at all.
I didn't
So
even know those existed, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack. So were those volume 2s and 3s or whatever? Were they completely different stories? Were they just reboots or rehashes or what the hell were we dealing with there?
I don't even remember the 1999 one that much. I think there was just some weird aliens, like maybe the Badoon or something were doing it, but it's the same kind of, a similar type of thing where it's just hey, let's pit a bunch of heroes against each other. The good thing was they would kind of have covers that would kind of preview some of the big bouts, like Iron Man versus Psylocke, and it's that's a battle we always wanted. But
Boiling.
yeah, so that was somewhat interesting.
Iron Man and Psylocke. All right.
2015 one was kind of cool because it brought back the Maestro, which is the evil future version of the
Bob
Hulk.
Cobb from Seinfeld.
No. Very different Maestro.
Did he give Iron Man a bomb to heal his wounds after the fight with Psylocke? Bomb on his.
He should have.
All right. Yeah, Bob Cobb.
But that series also ended up bringing SNIK back from the dead, which I feel like they haven't done anything with since then.
Huh.
I don't even think he's seen Daredevil since he's been alive. So
I gotta be honest. Even when he was alive, Stick pretty much looked dead. So
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, but Mike L, you've read Contest of Champions before this, right?
Yes, I reviewed it as part of Quasar Quanology.
That's right.
Because
Now, wait a minute. Quasar appears in one panel in the background.
Yes, that's enough.
wow, that counts.
I'll have you know that we reviewed a Fantastic Four annual simply because it contained Quasar's wrist. Okay, so there's no limit to how deep we will dig for Quasar.
So ridiculous. But along those lines, Mike L, I do owe you an apology because at the end of last week's show, you were saying how this series contains every hero in the Marvel universe. At the time, and I was like, no, it doesn't. No, that's ridiculous because I read it, and I mean. I don't remember all these superheroes, but apparently I went back and I read issue 1 again, or at least I looked at it. And because not all the heroes are featured in any prominent role, but at the beginning of issue 1, pretty much every hero imaginable is there.
This is true. Yep.
Yeah, if you look carefully, and I even made the joke, well, Icarus isn't there in the Eternals, because we read the Eternals last week. And sure enough, Icarus in the attack.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
You got a whole one panel.
I know. My apologies, Mike. But when I was going back through there looking for heroes, the one guy I definitely couldn't see was Ghost Rider. I didn't see him anywhere.
I think it's because he was inactive at the time, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because then I don't know if you guys, how you read this, but at the back of issue 1, and if you look at the trade paperback, they have the full list. But they were supposed to like serialize at the end of each issue like a list of the heroes that were in the Marvel Universe. And Ghost Rider was a list of inactive heroes. So I guess that means that that's why he wasn't featured. Because in 1982 he's inactive. But everyone who was an active hero apparently appears at some point in those first few panels of issue 1.
Really?
Because like even I saw,
and then they chuck it to the side because when you're picking teams, like who would want people like the Hulk or Doctor Strange?
Yeah,
and you could have people like the Arabian Knight and the Peregrine.
I don't want Thor. Give me Shamrock, the lucky land of Ireland. Keep your God of Thunder. That's just preposterous. All right, but there's a reason for this. I don't know. Do you guys know the backstory on Contest of Champions, like the deep dive on why it can't be?
Didn't it have something to do with the Olympics?
That is correct. That is correct.
Oh.
All right, so in early 1980, Marvel released a Treasury edition, number 25, which was titled Spider-Man vs. the Hulk at the Winter Olympics.
Yes, we reviewed that too on Here Comes the Spider-Cast, but go ahead.
And it was written by Mark Grunwald, Stephen Grant, and Bill Mantlo, the same creative team behind this here book we're reading today, with the art by Herb Trimpe, rhymes with Shrimpy, and Bruce Patterson. Now, Michael, the Treasury edition, this was a unique thing for Marvel there. They were doing for a while. I think it was from like 74 to 82-ish, 81-ish, somewhere around there. But what they were doing was they were reprinting issues, a collection of them into one book. And sometimes there would be Treasury editions with new material as well, but they were bigger formats. They were like, 10 by 14, I believe.
Not unique to Marvel because DC did it as well, but yes, I'm following along with you here, yeah. It was like almost like the size of a Rolling Stone magazine.
Did it.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, it was like a tabloid format, that size, basically. And so we had that one for Hulk and Spider-Man at the Winter Olympics. And then in that book, there was an ad for the Marvel superheroes at the Summer Olympics. Wow. But along the way, the Russians invaded Afghanistan.
Right.
And then our boy Jimmy Carter said, hey, you Russians, if you don't come out of Afghanistan, we're going to boycott the Olympics. That'll learn you. And so they boycotted the Olympics. And then Marvel said, oh, well, what can we do now? We were supposed to have this big Summer Olympics book planned. I guess we'll just forget about it. So they put it on the shelf. And everyone kind of forgot about it, except for our one buddy, Pablo Marcos, who was editing the pages. Because they had already produced a bunch of pages. We mentioned the writers there were Grunwald, Mantlo, and Stephen Grant of Punisher fame. And the artist was a young John Romita Jr. This is one of his first things he ever did. Was this Contest of Champions. But when they put it on the shelf, they forgot to tell Pablo Marcos. Well, they told him, but they said, no rush on that, because we don't know what we're doing with it. So Pablo, he was down in South America at the time, so they kind of just forgot he was working on it. And then 2 years later, he showed up to Marvel offices, and he had these like 40 pages of inked artwork. He's like, hey, are we ever going to finish this story? And Mark Grunwald, who was just the writer when it started, was now an editor. And he said, hey, you know what? I'd like to finish that story. So he went into Jim Shooter and he said, hey, how about we finish this? And we'll release it as a limited series. We'll divide it up into 3 issues, release it as a limited series. Michael, this is the first limited series in Marvel history, I believe.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But I believe they got the idea from DC, who did World of Krypton first. But anyway.
Well, but DC, they weren't called limited series, Michael. What were they called?
They were called miniseries.
Miniseries and maxi series, remember?
Right. Maxi series is for longer one. Yep.
So anyway, so our buddy Pablo, because of him, they brought the project back to life. And so they were able to get John Romita Jr. to come back and finish the artwork to finish the story. But the first like 40 pages or so that they had drawn, a lot of stuff was out of date now because it's been 2 years. Like heroes had changed their costumes, or they had left teams, or gone, or some people joined teams. So they needed our buddy Bob Layton went back and fixed the art on those first, I guess, 2 parts of the story.
Wow. Okay.
So you'll see him, like the art definitely, at least issue 1, the art is, I think, better because Bob Layton was doing it. I had to go back. So he gets credit there.
Shots fired.
Hey, yeah, this is young Ramita. Not that great, I got to tell you.
Yeah, this is not his finest. You can see hints of him peeking through in certain panels, but yeah, it's not his greatest moment by any means.
So then, like, you wouldn't even know it's John Romita Jr. Like if you're familiar with his later work, you know, like like wouldn't recognize
certain faces. I could see it, but most of the time,
very rare. All right, so 2 years later, than 1982, this gets published as Contest of Champions, and no longer Marvel Superheroes at the Olympics. It's now Contest of Champions, and everything ended happily. Oh, not so fast, because Mike L, there was a problem.
What was the problem?
They forgot how to count.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Maybe. Do you want to? Should we save that? Should I explain this later, or do you want to just?
I don't know. You can explain it now. What do you think, Kevin Jank?
Yeah, I'm curious.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Jank, did you notice? Did you catch the flaw here, Jank, in the book?
No.
Oh, all right. See, the whole premise of this thing was that the Grand Master, one of the Eternals of the universe, do you know the Grand Master's real name, Michael?
No, I don't know. What is it?
Ndui Gast.
Oh, of course. Everyone knows
that was your dog's name when you were a child, and you forgot.
Yeah.
Ndui Gast. But, his first appearance was Avengers 1969, issue 69, by the way. Wow, look at that. And it's created by Roy Thomas and Sal Buscema, our pal Sal. They created the Grand Master. So the Grand Master wants to get his buddy Collector out. He doesn't want him to be dead anymore. Because the Collector is like his brother, another Eternal of the universe. So he wants to save his brother. So he challenges Death, although it's just known as the Unknown through most of the book.
Yeah.
It's not revealed that it's Death.
Although she's wearing a purple robe, so who else would it be?
Yes, it's very strange. It's like, hey, who's that old rumpled guy in that raincoat? It's not Columbo. Who could that be? I don't know. Oh, it's Columbo. I never had no idea. All right. Jank and I love Columbo.
Shocker.
Hell
yeah.
So, anyway, so he challenges Death to a game. And they recruit all the heroes of Earth. And they put Earth, like they freeze everyone else on Earth in a time stasis. So life is not going on anymore. But so they each draft 2 teams from these, limitless supply of heroes. They draft 2 teams of, 4 groups of 3, right? Yeah, 12 each. And they each go hunting for a piece of a golden orb. And if you get the orb, you win. So, and then if Grand Master wins, Collector comes out of Death. And if Death wins, she gets to kill the Grand Master. I think that's the premise here.
Oh.
She gets to kill the Grand Master.
Okay.
So after the first 2 issues, the score is 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
And so this 3rd issue, what a barn burner this is going to be. We're going to get to see. So Grand Master's team, as we will cover here, we'll discuss here in a bit. Grand Master team wins the first one, so they go up 2-1. And then it looks like, Grand Master's team wins the second one, so they go up 3-1. Grand Master wins. But careful readers noticed, actually, the Unknowns team won the last one, so it should be a 2-2 tie.
Right.
But because our buddy Shamrock, the lucky lady of Ireland, was actually on the Unknowns team, so it should have been a 2-2 score. But instead, they said it was 3-1. And now the reason for this,
they paid as little attention to who was on whose team as I did, apparently.
Yes, but one of the reasons why this happened was Tom DeFalco was editing the first 2 issues of this, like back when it was the winter, when it was going to be the Summer Olympics thing. Tom DeFalco was the editor. So when they brought it back and they needed to do that 3rd issue, Mark Grunwald, who was now an editor, he wanted to edit it because he's like, oh, I'll take it. Because Tom DeFalco didn't want to have anything to do with it because it was such a pain in the ass 2-year project, that just kept hanging around. So he's like, all right, Mark Grunwald, yeah, you can have it. And then I guess Grunwald, although he should have been able to catch the mistake if he would have just been reading his own issue. But so that may have contributed to why there was a mistake. The editors changed and things got mixed up. But so then Jim Shooter called him into his office one day, and he sat him down. He said, "Hey, what the fuck? What'd you guys do?" And Mark Grunwald says, "Hey, no, it was all part of the plan. It was all part of the Grand Master's plan. It was all like that he cheated or whatever." So, and I guess the story. So Jim Shooter says, "All right, well, go fix it." So they had a plan to have a sequel at some point to change it to explain what happened. But that story didn't get resolved until West Coast Avengers Annual 6 and Avengers Annual 16 in 1987.
Really?
So it took 5 years for all you loyal Contest of Champions readers. Oh, this eventually got fixed, but yeah.
It's a lot of years of living in shame for those writers.
I know. I'm sure people were waking up and every day saying, I hope this is the day Contest of Champions gets resolved. I hope to God. But
it's like people nowadays trying to hope that one more day gets resolved, and they reverse that whole thing, and Peter Parker can be married again.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's right. The one more day. Yeah, I didn't know what that was. I thought that was the old TV show with Schneider and Anne Romano and her 2 daughters. That wasn't it at all. That was One Day at a Time, Michael.
Yeah,
you Canadian.
Never saw that.
Oh, by the way, though, Pat Harrington was on One Day at a Time, and the cover here for this issue was drawn by Ed Hannigan. Similar.
That's a real reach.
Yeah.
You're going to pull your back out again, get that crazy out again for that reach.
Anyway. So there you go.
This was more about the Summer Olympics. Were they actually doing more of Olympic type things?
Not really.
Pretty much what it was supposed to be about.
The whole gimmick. They had to redo the story a little bit when they brought it back, but not too much because the gimmick was that they were introducing all these foreign heroes. Mm. They introduced 7 with another one I got to talk about. But there was 8 heroes they brought in from around the world to make it kind of like an Olympic feel. And that's why we were saying, for some reason the Grandmaster didn't pick Thor and all that, because they had to pick these stupid new heroes to tie in with the Olympics or whatever. But it's
immediately forgot.
Yeah, good Lord. All right, so Mike, can you name the 8 new heroes we get in Contest of Champions? I'm sure they're, just rattle them off like family members' names.
Of course. Just give me a second here to jog my memory.
No Googling, no looking
what?
You should know these.
Okay,
right.
I know. Kevin Jank, you can help me.
Okay, I'll try to fill in the gaps.
Okay, I know Shamrock. Well, that's it. Who else?
All right, Shamrock. We mentioned Shamrock.
Arabian Night.
Yeah, first of all, Shamrock's from Ireland, of course, and her real name is Molly Fitzpatrick, and she has good luck powers. She's like a long shot.
Domino.
Apparently, her dad took her to some place in Ireland, and when she was a wee little lass, and he said something over he found a Shamrock, and he said, "Hey, please let my daughter have luck," or I don't know what it was, but she got luck powers through some mystical thing of Ireland. So that's Shamrock. And she has, now this might sound strange to you, but she has a green costume.
You don't say.
Yeah, and basically they just created the most stereotypical concept of every country. And they're like, let's...
I wish there would have been one part of this book where she would have been like, they're after me, Lucky Charms.
That would have been very good, yeah. All right, so Jank mentioned the Arabian Night.
Oh, by the way, Shamrock. The only context I have for Shamrock is there was an issue of Excalibur, 108, I think it was, where Kitty Pryde and Rain Sinclair go to a beauty parlor to get new haircuts, and there's this Irish girl who's the hairstylist there, and she's talking about I had some accident, and now I'm not a superhero anymore. And there was basically a contest at the bottom, and it had a little editor's box saying, "Do you know who this is? If you do, you can win a prize." I was like, I don't know who the fuck this is. But eventually I looked it up years later, and they were like, Shamrock. I'm like, who the fuck is Shamrock?
So Shamrock lost her luck powers and had to get a job cutting hair.
Yeah, she was on crutches.
Oh my god! Wow,
Ran out.
She went from great luck to no luck. Yeah. Wow. All right. So you mentioned the Arabian Nights. That fella's name, of course, he's from Saudi Arabia, and Abdul Qatar was his real name. And his magic power is that he found a magic scimitar and a flying carpet.
Huh, look at that. Very creative again.
Grunwald, Mantlo, and Grant were burning the candle at both ends coming up with these ideas. All right. Next, we have Blitzkrieg from Germany. Real name, Franz Mittelstadt. And he was inspecting an electrical power plant when it was struck by lightning. And he got
sounds a lot like Electro.
A little bit. A little bit. Yeah, and he can do the same things basically as Electro. Then we have the Collective Man from China. And these are actually 5 brothers. Han, Chang, Lin, Sun, and Hao Tao Yu. And they unite, and they could form one body with, like, superpower. Like, the power of it. And they can channel...
Like a Voltron, if they can just turn it into one thing that's the exact same size.
And they can channel the power of all of mainland China, apparently.
Awesome.
Is it?
I think so.
Kind of
very
racist
cool.
to think about it. It's really just kind of...
I think it's some kind of symbolism for communism, I guess.
Yes.
Right.
It's just
all in
how,
this
like,
together.
every person from China is just, completely...
Interchangeable?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Not exactly the meaning you want to give them, but all right. Then we have from France, La Peregrine, and that's not a bubbly water. That is actually a guy who dresses like a bird, and his name is Alain Racine, and he's like a falcon. He's like a French falcon. He has a flight suit like a falcon.
Now, can I quickly point out that I looked up this guy's name, and peregrine is not a French word. So somewhere along the way, they screwed up. And peregrine...
Pellegrino.
Something like that, yeah.
But what was I going to say about this fella? Oh, yeah, apparently he's like I don't know if he's a government agent or he's some sort of a spy. And I guess he worked with Silver Sable.
Oh. I like that he apparently knows Savat, which makes him just like Batroc the Leaper. Like, if you're French, you got to be a Savat expert, apparently.
Yeah, Savat, French kickboxing. Well, French boxing, but they use their feet too. Yeah, so Savat. And then we have Defensor, and this fella's from Argentina, and his real name is
like
Gabriel.
A Pokemon name.
Gabriel Sepulveda is his real name. And he was just a guy who was working construction at some underground tunnel, and he found a vibranium suit of armor. And luckily for him, it fit perfectly. And he put it on.
Lucky.
Yeah, and he just became Defensor.
Huh.
So I don't know who made this armor or but that's all he did. He's found something, and now he's a superhero. Very much like Arabian Night.
That's life.
Then we have Talisman from Australia. Real name unknown, but he's like I guess Aborigine kind of, right? Like who is that fella? The X-Men?
Gateway.
Yeah, Gateway.
Yeah,
because like
bull roars and everything.
Yeah, bull roar. Yeah, the thing you spin around. That's how but he's a magician. He has like magical powers, and he focuses his power by spinning that thing around. So now is that everybody? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more. But this girl here, I'm a little confused. Her name is Sabra, and she's from Israel.
Yeah.
But technically, her first appearance was Incredible Hulk 250 in 1980. But I don't know if that's because they had her like created for this, and then when it got shelved, they put her into Hulk. And so then by the time this came around, because she made a couple appearances in Hulk then before this, but she's credited to Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema. So I don't know if Buscema had anything to do with the creation of these characters here. Like this, he would have been the only one, or Sabra would have been the only one. So
I was looking at the other characters, and someone else also appeared in Incredible Hulk 250.
Oh,
so yeah, one of the other ones. And what I'm thinking is they probably thought, oh, well, this story is going to be out in Marvel Treasury number whatever, so we'll just use these characters. But then it never came out. That's probably what happened, right?
It has to have been.
Yeah.
Maybe the other one was La Peregrine because Sabra's kind of like an Israeli spy. She's a mutant.
Actually, no, it was Arabian Night.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
And then I'm going to give a shout out to marvel.fandom.com. It says that these appearances are continuity errors. So maybe they were meant to first appear in the other one, but, you know.
But the Sabra lady, she's a mutant, and she's got, like, enhanced strength and speed and healing factor and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jank, have you ever encountered Sabra in your X-Men travels?
Yes, actually. Yeah, she appeared in some later Hulk issues as well and in some X-Men stuff. So she's probably the one who has had the most staying power out of all these made-up characters.
Huh. I think these characters are great. But anyway, all of them.
They're terrible. They're all terrible.
Love them all.
They're just terrible. All right.
Giving out the love too freely. You got to charge for that.
So here we are, Mike. Contest of Champions issue 3. I think that's all the background we need. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. All right. So, Marvel Comics limited series, as we said earlier, their first ever, right? And I love this Marvel. I sometimes do this where you read something and your brain tells you it's something else. I thought it was Contest of the Champions my whole life. But it's just Marvel Superhero Contest of Champions, okay?
I guess technically the official title for this is Marvel Superhero Contest of Champions.
Right.
Because if you like Google in like just Contest of Champions, you get those later ones that Jack was talking about.
In fact, it's funny because even Secret Wars is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars, but this is Marvel Superhero Contest of Champions. Yeah, look at that. Okay. So anyway, we got our cover here, and which of course spoils the big reveal, but it says, and the winner is Death.
Well, Miguel, again, your mind is playing tricks on you. It just says, and the winner.
Oh, look at that. And the winner, Death. Oh. Wow.
Yep, like right to the end.
It's kind of like Dark of the Moon. Transformers Dark of the Moon. I always thought it was Transformers Dark Side of the Moon, but it's just Dark of the Moon. Anyway.
I would have made it slightly better.
Real reading problems over at Michael's house.
Yeah. I like to insert.
No editing for him.
Yeah. Okay, so we got this cover here. We got the skull face, which is obviously Death. We got all these superheroes floating around her. And, what should I name them all?
Let's see how many you can name.
Well, okay, we got Iron Fist, Thing, Daredevil, Captain America, Wolverine. What's that guy's name? Oh no! Is he Russian? Underneath Wolverine.
Vanguard.
Vanguard.
Yeah, Vanguard.
Then Angel.
The Soviet super soldiers team. Vanguard.
Yeah.
There's Sabra's back there. I can see her afro and her blue fur. Yeah.
These are all the other ones. And then we got and then we got
Talisman's ass right in our face.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the next one's Black Panther. Then we got Sasquatch, Iron Man, and then we got Peregrine, La Peregrine. Then we got the armor guy. Defensor. And I think that's it, right?
No, a tiny Jack of Hearts.
Yeah.
Wait, Jack of Hearts is on here?
I don't know. I guess that's probably Defensor. I don't know what Defensor looks like.
Yeah, I think that's
the guy in
Defensor.
The orange and the blue.
Yeah, I think that's Defensor because it's tough to tell, but he kind of has a helmet. But Jack of Hearts does make an appearance in issue 1. So he's in one panel with, I believe, Quasar, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
We also got Shamrock She-Hulk, and who's that one? Oh, is that Arabian Night there in the back, too, with the white on the below Captain America, the white pants?
Yeah, I think so, yep.
Yeah, that's all right.
And then, did we mention the green guy above the skull? Who's that?
That's Shamrock.
Oh, right. Okay.
You can see her bosoms coming up.
Uh-huh.
and a nice shot right up Main Street there.
Her and Talisman. All right, so there you go. The cover. What do you think of the cover, Jank? You a fan?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, anytime you're a kid and you see a cover with all these heroes on it, and someone's getting killed, you're like, oh yeah, this
badass like metal looking skull. Like, how can you go wrong with that?
pretty good to me.
I think it's also, we should point out it's Ed Hannigan. And,
I did.
you know.
Remember, I did my Pat Harrington joke.
Well, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, I should also point out that the first two covers were by John Romita Jr., and I love John Romita Jr., but Ed Hannigan is notoriously a great cover artist, and this one's probably slightly better.
And again, this is John Romita when he just started.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. He's a little baby.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Crack the sucker open. All right. Contest of Champions. So we basically open up on an orbiting arena on the threshold of space. And we cut into the Collector and Unknown, because we don't know that this is Death yet. And they're just sitting there. Now, they're not really talking. We're just kind of narrating what's going on, right? We're explaining this.
Got to catch everybody up on what happened in the first two issues.
Right. So there's two different teams, 12 on Grandmaster's team and 12 on Unknown's team. And the object of this contest is to find the pieces of the Golden Globe of Life, a mystic object capable of raising the dead. And then we cut over to, and it says 2 contests have already been waged. The winners were Daredevil and Arabian Night, and now we have 2 contests that remain. So now in Chapter 4, we're going to have the 3rd contest, which is titled Siege in the City of the Dead. And we open up with one team consisting of Vanguard, Angel, and Black Panther. And that's the Unknown's team. And the Grandmaster's team is Wolverine, Thing, and Le Peregrine.
Yeah.
And, you know.
These teams are pretty closely matched.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the next team is kind of lopsided. But I think
yes.
But then the underdog comes out and wins, though, which is crazy. But yeah, these things, because you got Black Panther versus Wolverine, Thing versus Vanguard, and Falcon, Angel and El Peregrine. So yeah, like evenly matched foes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, basically, right away we get a little bit of, you know, chirping between Wolverine and Thing, right? It's Marvel, so they got to kind of argue with each other a little bit. But no one.
Look at Wolverine just burning a dart.
Yeah,
smoking a cigarette.
Of course.
How would that go in today's world? Just a
Wouldn't
hero
happen.
smoking. Yeah.
Wouldn't happen. And also notice, look how big his mask is, eh?
Yeah, like his face is kind of lopsided too. Like,
right.
It's not the best.
Yeah, we were talking about a baby Ramita. Not so good.
Yep.
Jank, how do you feel about Wolverine's depiction here? Because it always annoyed me when I was a young lad reading Wolverine in different books. Like other writers' take on Wolverine, they tended to boil him down to like the worst elements of his character, like just make him like a dick.
Yeah, yeah, that's very much the kind of behavior they were going for here. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It didn't seem like they got the character of Wolverine that well. It was kind of uncomfortable when he keeps calling Black Panther Blackie.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, I want to give him credit and think he was just making a play on the word Black Panther, but at the same time,
yeah, exactly.
Really racist. Really racist. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it doesn't sit right. But I don't know. I guess they couldn't have him say fuckface back then.
But just keep calling him Cat or whatever. Hey, Cat guy.
Yeah, Cat man. Kitty cat.
I'm pussy.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, not Blackie. All right, so Michael, the two teams have to divide up. They're looking for this shard of the golden orbs. So they start searching for it, and I guess they're in China, right? Is that where they're at here? Yeah.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah, they got sent down to China.
Oh, right. Yes.
They find all those
the whole city of the dead. Yeah.
Right. So then we cut over to the other side of like this field, and Vanguard is talking to Angel and Black Panther, and they're debating who should lead the team. And what's his name? Yeah, Vanguard's like, well, I propose that I, Vanguard, serve as field commander, such was my rank in the Soviet super soldiers. But then Angel doesn't pump up himself. He says the Black Panther should lead, right?
Yeah, the Angel he's not a leader. The Angel's just a playboy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that, yeah. So Black Panther's like, no, none of us should lead. How about that, right?
Yeah,
okay, fine.
Just do our own shit.
Yeah.
He's like, we're all capable of leading. Let's just go do what we do. Yeah.
Exactly. So then they go off there on their own, right? And then Black Panther is walking along, and he comes to the city of the dead. He's like, a city of the dead? No, a vast archaeological excavation revealing hundreds of ceramic warriors. He figured that out in 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Right there in front of him. Yeah.
Right. Well, how do you know there's ceramic? That's what I'd like to know. Anyway.
He
collects cute senses. Yeah.
So then he jumps down into this little, thing. And then as he's down there, he senses someone coming from behind him. And of course, it's Wolverine. And then Wolverine is jumping towards Black Panther, but then mid-air, Black Panther ducks. And mid-air, Wolverine says, huh? He ducked. And then he lands. Yeah. And he's like, nice moves, Catman. I'm not easily evaded. But you're out of your mind if you think I'm going to let a little thing like speed come between me and the prize. So he's talking tough, right? And he's like popping his claws. So he doesn't care that this is another superhero. He's popping his claws. He means business, right?
Wolverine always wants to murder people, apparently.
Yeah. That was kind of early. Wolverine was a little bit more like that. He didn't have the kind of age and wisdom yet.
I don't think by 1982 he was like that, though. But
that's true.
A little better by 80s.
You notice how the sound effect is incomplete when his claws pop. It says SNIK instead of snicked. Yeah.
The blade's covering it up.
There you go. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
You just got a no prize, Kevin Jank. It'll be
I'll be checking every day.
So then we get a confrontation between Le Peregrine and Le Angel. And of course, Le Peregrine calls him L'Angel. It's funny. That's how we know he's French.
Oh, yeah.
So then they're they're fighting like midair, and Le Peregrine is like kicking him in the chest with both feet, and then he kicks him again, and then we cut over. Yeah, it's just
because Angel's like, oh my god, he knows like karate and shit. Like he actually knows moves. He decided not to just be the most useless person on a team.
Yeah, his exact. He's thinking to himself as he's plummeting to the earth after being kicked in the face. Hey, this guy combined flying with martial arts. What the hell? How did he do that? Yeah.
But I also like his line.
Isn't flying enough? I mean, I could just fly.
Yeah.
Isn't that?
But I also
doesn't help any battle, but whatever.
But this dialogue, he's like, me, the guy who practically invented the idea of the winged superhero. Ugh. Rough dialogue there. But anyway.
Yeah.
So then we cut over to the Thing chasing after Vanguard. And then wait, are they on the same team? No, they're on two different teams. No. So they're about to fight, but then Vanguard, he just puts his hammer and sickle together, and then what does he do? Does he energize?
Yeah, I guess he shoots him off with some energy or something.
Right. And he's like bragging how tough he is or whatever. And then we cut back over to Black Panther fighting Wolverine, and we see a cool little thing here where Wolverine takes a swipe at him, but Black Panther jumps in the air and does a twirl and lands on the ground, right? And then Wolverine's like hiding behind these ceramic things. Or no, he's going after Black Panther. Black Panther's hiding. Then Black Panther jumps on him, and then Wolverine flips him over. And then again, he's got the claws out, right? And then Black Panther's shocked. He's like, but can he really mean to slay me? I bet you he does, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know why Wolverine is going so hard at this. I'm sure he doesn't want to be there any more than anybody else does. So why is he putting so much effort into this?
Because they don't know how to write Wolverine or anybody.
That could be part of it. So then we cut over to Angel flying along. And so this is what's weird is he's flying along. And then he sees a Chinese peasant that's apparently paralyzed by the Grandmaster's powers, and he just takes like a walking stick from him. But at first I thought this was another one of those ceramic dudes, but it's not. It's a frozen peasant. And so then we get some great dialogue from Le Peregrine. He's like, so the famous angel flees from Le Peregrine. And then he's like, yeah, whatever. So then he's like flying along.
I'll get to join the X-Men instead of you after this.
Yeah.
Like that. Suck it, Angel.
And so Angel's like, that's it, Peregrine. Keep talking. And then Peregrine's flying. But then, oh, look at this. Angel pulls a Top Gun. He puts the brakes on and he flies back around. And he comes up from behind him and grabs him. But he uses the walking stick to choke him. See, I bet you he didn't learn that when he was learning martial arts, right?
No, but apparently what he did learn how to do is put his legs back behind him and choke out the Angel with his legs around his belly. And that is impossible to do, really.
Yeah, you're right.
A reverse leg scissors around the stomach of Angel. Yeah, that's not going to work.
So then Angel does what anyone would do, and he
not a lot of power.
Hits him on the back of the head with a metal pole, or the walking stick, actually. It's not metal, it's wood, I guess. And so then, he pretty much wins that fight. So then we cut back over to Vanguard and the Thing. They're still fighting, pretty evenly classed, right? But then the Thing gives him a big punch, kaplow, and like knocks
Sunday
him over.
punch.
Right. And then we cut back over to Wolverine and Black Panther, who are fighting. And the Thing is now done with Vanguard, so he kind of walks in and joins them. And he's like, Squirt, just what in blazes do you think you're doing? And Wolverine's like, eliminating the opposition, ugly. Any objections? And the Thing's like, the Panther's a pal of mine. So now we got a classic Marvel problem, right? Heroes fighting heroes, but they're actually still, they're still pals, so they don't know what to do. So basically, Wolverine kind of backs off, right?
Well, no, he's about to fight the Thing there. He says, I'll cut you up, Rockman. But then he and Black Panther, they both, they can smell the alien technology.
Yes.
The alien thing. And so they can sniff it. And Black Panther says, hey, Thing, that orb deal's right below you. Start digging in the ground there. So Thing punches in the ground and pulls out the golden orb.
Right. Big yellow kind of half moon. And then, here we go. Right at the bottom it says, the score is now Grandmaster 2, The Unknown 1. Which is correct, I think. At this
point, so good?
Yeah,
so far so good, yes. So then we get Chapter 5, Fourth Contest, Struggle in the Jungle, which is obviously a play on Rumble in the Jungle, right?
That's right, Michael.
Woo! Look at that. Yeah. Sports reference.
Michael knows his sports.
So then it's like, the Unknowns team, Storm, Shamrock, and Collective Man. That's who I'm rooting for. And the Grandmasters team, Sasquatch, Captain America, and Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, well, like if you're Storm in this situation, aren't you like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm part of the X-Men. And now I'm with these two jabronis? What is going on?
Yeah. And I'm assuming this is where you said this is the teams that are unevenly matched that you pointed.
Yeah, it just seems crazy. Sasquatch, he's a visually striking character, that Sasquatch. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you got Captain America, the hero of heroes. And all right, Blitzkrieg, whatever. But anything with Captain America, like that's the team. Like, I mean, that's pretty powerful.
Right.
You would think so until he comes up against a tiny snake.
He does have problems.
It all falls apart.
Yeah.
I got to mention, by the way, Blitzkrieg is a great name for a character. But anyway, we'll get back to the story.
Yeah,
I suppose. But how do you feel about that costume, though?
Yeah, it's not great. Not a great costume.
So Blitzkrieg is on the same team as Captain America.
Yeah, it seems like World War II would have been, had some hard feelings between the two of them, but apparently they can put it aside. All in the name of Canada. Although Sasquatch here, he's sweating his balls off down in this jungle in South America. It's really hot, and he's sweating like a chimp. He's not happy being there because it's so hot.
It's like the Great White North.
What was that? Jank, you'll know this. What were those guys that made the claymation stuff, that Gromit or whatever?
Wallace and
Gromit?
Yeah. Did you ever see that one where at the zoo and they're talking to like the lion or the tiger or whatever, and he's up and he's like, it's so hot in the jungle. He's like, it's so hot. Nothing? Nobody?
No, no.
That's what it reminded me of with Sasquatch. That's all I'm saying. You're right. I could do more one day at a time jokes if you want. I could go back to that.
Now you're talking.
I'll say this though. I like this first panel. This is a hell of a job here. If this is Romita here, I'm guessing. Like I don't think Leighton. Yeah, this is. I don't think Leighton did any fixes on this issue. So yeah, this is a really good panel here. The very first panel, or it says chapter.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a full splash page of like jungle and
right
teams and everything. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so then basically this is where Sasquatch and Captain America first meet. And then like Blitzkrieg doesn't have time for this. He's like, and I am Blitzkrieg of West Germany, Lord of the Lightning Strike, and then he just takes off. And I love how Captain America's like, he's off, levitating at a field of electrically charged particles.
Yes.
So yeah, he's out of there. And then we cut over to Team B. And low teammates, I'm not going to do the Irish accent, but then we meet Collective Man, and he splits up into his 5 components, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of like cheating. They have
it's kind of. And I love how Storm is like, instead of 1 teammate, we suddenly have 5. And I love whenever characters are like, there's multiple characters, but they all speak in one voice. Like, remember Reflector and Transformers? The camera?
Oh, okay.
So cool. Is that before your time, Jank?
I'm not too super familiar with the Transformers.
Oh,
I watched it some, but
okay. But yeah, there was one character who split into 3, and whenever he talked, he had, obviously 3 voices. I just think it's a cool, effect. I like it. So anyway,
this guy's kind of just the bargain basement version of the Multiple Man.
Yeah, you could say that. So yeah, looks exactly the same. So they go off because you can't tell Asians apart, and they leave. And
the
then
most racist character ever.
Yep. and then look at this. Shamrock looks over and is like, "Hey, a flying Fraulein? Is that how you pronounce it? Fraulein? Fraulein? Yeah.
Either way, heard it both ways.
And then so Blitzkrieg's like, well, I guess I'll shoot her with some lightning, but guess what? Doesn't really affect Storm because she's the weather witch, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Bad move on his part.
Yeah, she's like,
shows his opponent poorly.
Right. Good point. She's like, how dare he seek to ensnare within an elemental prison one who commands the elements, one who is mistress of the storm. Love it. So then again, we get some bad thought dialogue from Captain America. He's like, I feel like Johnny Weissmuller, who is, of course, Tarzan, right? Everyone knows that. He's swinging along in this jungle on a vine. And then Shamrock comes up beside him. And she's also swinging. And then they're kind of fighting in midair, sort of. And he just ends up tossing her aside, right?
Yeah, and he doesn't toss her aside. She wiggles out of his hand because
right.
Fall.
Yeah, she wiggled out.
She's not even concerned about falling because she's the lucky lady of Ireland.
Right. So then
you see Sasquatch sweating.
Yeah.
That's what we see next.
That's right. Yeah, he's getting a heat stroke, right.
He's thinking about going back to his human form just to avoid the heat. But then he's like, well, then I'm nothing, though. Then I shouldn't even be on this team.
So then, that's true, yeah. He needs to shave. So then we cut over to what's his name? Five Guys. What's his name?
Five Guys.
Yeah.
Five Guys burgers and fries.
Yeah.
No, the Collective Man.
Okay.
Man.
So then,
Michael, do you have Five Guys in Canada?
Of course we do. We got
Really?
a 7-Eleven. We got everything here.
You
Yeah.
have Five Guys, but you don't have one day at a time.
No, well, one day at a time. We have it. I've just never seen it.
Priority.
All right. Fair enough.
Anyway.
Sasquatch just beats the hell out of Collective Man.
Right. Oh, you see the shot where he lands Collective Man?
That is John Romita.
Yeah, 100% John Romita. Yep.
Yeah, that one and the next one even. Yeah, so you can definitely. There's one of the examples where you can see a mature John Romita.
Yeah.
Right. So then,
his face to me, I can always see it in here too.
Oh yeah, true. On the next page, yep. So Collective Man and Sasquatch are still fighting. Sasquatch smashes him down to the ground and knocks him out. Right? He's like, nighty night. We cut back over to Blitzkrieg and Storm fighting, and Storm beats Blitzkrieg, right? Because, he's kind of a nobody. But anyway.
Yeah.
So then
he's got more than just lightning. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we cut back over to Captain America and Shamrock, and here comes a python, right? And, I guess this is also Captain America.
This is so ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Captain
this
America...
python just shows up in front of him because of her luck powers. Yeah. And he's like, oh no, a snake. And suddenly it's wrapped around him and like strangling him. Like, you've got a razor sharp shield. Like,
yeah.
This is not the Chris Evans Captain America who could hold a helicopter to a fucking roof. Like, this is just a little pansy.
Being attacked by a snake.
Okay, I think I just found one of those random panels that, like, in isolation can be quite humorous. Sasquatch has the collective man down. He's like, now that I've pinned you, little man, what am I going to do with you? And collective man's like, it is I who will do something to you, monster. Huh. Wonder what they could be talking about anyway.
A lot of foreplay talk here.
Exactly. So then we cut over. Look at this. We thought there was only 5 guys in. Huh?
Well, Michael, I think are you skipping when you say cut over? Because he channels all the powers of all the Chinese people.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Okay.
Yeah. There's only 5 guys, but apparently there's like 5 billion, right? How many
They're
people?
exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And
so they should really call him the human gangbang, right? Like he's got so many people inside of him.
Yeah, that's right. And then I guess he uses those powers to kick off Sasquatch, so he defeats him, right?
Well, then he passes out.
Then he passes out. Yep.
But when I'm going back through looking at this arc, I would say that from this fight between these two teams, I'm going to guess this arc was done in 1982 because this is all really good, like John Romita, and then like the early stuff was probably done back when they first did the book 2 years earlier.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because really, from chapter 5 on, at least this whole chapter of this fight scene, it's all pretty solid John Romita.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Good point.
About that for $1.
Yeah. All right, so now we go back to Blitzkrieg is coming back to talk to Captain America, who's now just standing on that snake.
Yeah.
Beat up that snake good.
Yeah. And then Blitzkrieg kind of just somehow he just rides the electrical field behind him, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how that works.
I guess static electricity like sticks it to him or something. I don't know.
No, not really. But anyway, yeah. So then they end up somehow. What is it? He's like, he's gonna search for the prize among the trees. So then Blitzkrieg's like, Jawal, Capitan, by supercharging the air molecules about me, I can create an electrical vortex that may reveal the prize. Sure enough, it does. And then we see this other kind of like half moon thing inside this tree thing.
The whole tree hole.
Yeah. And then Captain America is about to snatch it, but then Shamrock grabs it. Shamrock! Yeah.
Shamrock's costume turned yellow for some reason in that panel.
Yeah.
Yellow.
So then
that's your luck for you.
Yeah, there you go. So then it's like, as Shamrock touches the Golden Globe quarter, 6 superheroes vanish. Final score, Grandmaster 3, Unknown 1. There you go.
Yeah.
All part of the plan, right?
That's right. 3-1, even though it should be 2-2.
Quality scorekeeping.
Right.
Shamrock. Then we come back and we see Grandmaster, and we're back on like the big arena. Oh, Michael, don't get too excited, but there's Quasar. You see him?
Oh, crap, you're right. I didn't even notice him there.
Standing right next to Union Jack. I like Union Jack. That's a cool costume.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah.
Grandmaster and the Unknown are standing there, and all the heroes are behind him. But who are the people on the left? Like that guy.
That's American Eagle. Oh,
What?
That's American Eagle, right?
Who the hell is that?
Everyone knows American Eagle. Come
I've
on.
never heard of American
And then
Eagle.
the guy next to him is none other than Blue Shield. Come on. I thought you
Who
liked
are these
Marvel
people,
comics.
Michael?
I don't know. They're just characters I know.
But like, what team are they on? Or
Who's the lady?
The lady that might
be Liberty Bell.
I don't know about that, but
She has a star. She looks like Captain America, but
Yeah.
it could be
She's got that same kind of patriotic thing.
not Liberty Bell, because Liberty Bell is DC, right? Or no?
yeah.
Who's the Marvel equivalent?
Or
of Liberty
Glow.
Bell?
I don't know. I'm actually looking through the list of characters, but
Yeah, maybe America. Remember who? I guess she would have been like, her and the Wizard were the parents of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver originally. Who was that lady?
I don't know. I'm looking through the list of characters to see if I can find her.
Because I can't remember. I remember, Mike, we did that book with Miles Watson was on, I believe, when we did this book. But it was like set in World War II, like the old school.
Yeah. But I don't.
America, another World War II hero, Miss America, debuted in Marvel Mystery Comics.
Oh, is it Shooting Star?
Oh, okay, it might be Shooting Star.
Oh, yeah, it could be.
I was thinking Miss America.
Could be Shooting Star. I might be right, though. I mean, I might be wrong.
I might be right.
I might be right. Anyway. Okay, so back to the quarter moons or half moons or whatever, right? So we got the heroes holding them there, right?
Yep.
In front of them. And Grandmaster's like, the contest is over. All pawns have returned. And then the unknown is like, it would seem you have one Grandmaster. 3 of the 4 pawns bearing the gold pieces are yours. So now it's like, okay, it's time to, find out what's going to happen here, right? And so Grandmaster takes they look like quarter peaches, right?
Yes.
And Grandmaster's going to put them all together. And he's like, as soon as I join the 4 components, the power to resurrect my immortal brother, the Collector, shall be mine. And then Unknown is like, that is right, Grandmaster. The power or the choice to use it will be yours. But the superheroes are kind of suspicious, right? Like, something's not right here, right? Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was a rhetorical question.
I'm asking you guys, yeah. So then, and I love how we have the thoughts of Iron Man, Thing, Wolverine, and then, who's this guy again?
Talisman.
Talisman, right.
Everyone's favorite new hero.
Spirits of my ancestors bid me beware. The unknown brings death for someone here. So then he's like, he slips into dream time. The Australian slipping into dream time. The Australian mystic known as Talisman steps out of his corporeal form. So we see like a ghost of this guy floating around, and he's like, okay, I got to use help. I got to get help from one of these characters. So I'm going to use Invisible Woman, and then she comes into Dreamtime, right?
But I don't understand why he has to use Invisible Woman. Like, why did he have to go in Corporal Dreamland? Why didn't he just walk over? Because all Invisible Woman does, she doesn't turn invisible. She just walks behind Death and yanks the.
I know. I thought that too. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, supposedly she's in Dreamtime, whatever that means, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why he can't do it though. It's all weird. I don't understand.
If he's why is he intangible there, but she's not? Like that doesn't make.
But
any
again,
sense.
when Invisible Girl pulls down the hood, that's a classic Romita panel there. So,
Yeah.
I definitely think the last half of this book was done in '82.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, she pulls down the mask and she's like, "Now, may heaven help me. I'm going to find out why." And then we cut to the next page and it's Death revealed, right?
Gets a cover basically again.
Yeah, it's the cover again, right? And all the heroes are kind of floating around Death. And Sasquatch is like, oh, forget earlier what I said. He's like, cold, so cold, right? Now he's cold. Can't please this guy.
But I'll say this about Romita, even though the second half of this book is really good in terms of the art, not so much on Death's face.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, not in that bottom panel there.
Well, that's fine, but the bottom panel and the red background with Grandmaster in the background there, like what is going on with that skull there?
That's true. The cover's much better. Yeah. Now we kind of find out that. So basically, yes, he can revive. What's his brother's name again?
Collector.
But the only way he can revive Collector is if he trades another soul, which is his own soul, right? Which
dun.
It would have been good if they left it there, but then Death is like, or all these superheroes could also die. We could just kill them.
No, I like that because it shows that Grandmaster is a man of honor. Because because he says, no, I made a deal with them, and I said I wouldn't. If they fought with me in this battle, I would never use Earthlings again in my games. They held up their bargain. Now I have to hold up mine because I follow the rules of my game. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good that it's there because it shows you that he's an honorable fellow. It's
good that it gives him a choice. I like that, but I just don't like how convenient it is. That by the way, we can also trade all these superheroes.
But I think it's
the whole thing is a little rushed.
But I think it could also be Death's way to see what kind of to tempt Grandmaster to go against his character and his belief. Because if she does that, then she wins as well. She crushes his soul.
Okay.
So I have no problem with it. But for you Marvel kids out there who like the Marvel movies, Jank Grandmaster is played by
Yeah, our buddy Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot.
And
that
then the
was him.
Collector is played by.
Yeah, what's his name?
Benicio del Toro.
Yes, awesome.
So if you're trying to envision these people, that's who they are. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be nice to get those two together in a movie.
Yeah. Has it happened? No, it hasn't. Okay.
I like when Mike asks his questions and then answers them. Does it happen? No, it hasn't. All right.
just like my non-rhetorical questions, kind of, but in reverse. But anyway, and then so now Grandmaster's done. He's dead, right? And Collector's back. And Collector's pissed because he's like, oh, what did? Okay, yeah, I'm back, but now my brother's dead. Screw that. So he's like,
Yeah.
I will force you to restore him, even if I must collect every hero in the cosmos to fight you. And then Death's like, you would lose.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I love that too.
You'd still lose. I'm Death. What haven't you learned yet?
Right, and so then Death grabs Collector by the back of the neck and just takes off, and they float away, right?
Well, because Death says, hey, why don't you play another game with me? I have another idea we can do. Maybe you can win Grandmaster back.
Right.
And the Collector's like, yeah, but you'll probably just cheat again. And Death's like, yeah, probably, but come on. We'll see what happens.
It'll be fun. It'll kill some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should have been Contest of Champions too, right? Like,
Yeah,
Thomas
right?
not using Earth Heroes.
Also, the Collector looks a lot like Barbara Bush, former First Lady.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You're not wrong.
So then, the Avengers, they're back at their little hideout. And I guess when they were taken, abducted for this game, Beast had challenged them to, like, you got 1 minute to try and catch me. And so then when they pop back on Earth, he looks at the clock and he says, hey, look, it's been an hour. You guys lose, even though we just came back.
Awkward ending.
Yeah.
And then, Beast is like...
kind of tied in where he's like, I don't think any of us will ever want to play games for, a good while now.
Yeah. And then it's like, and then at the bottom it says, the Avengers stand in mute agreement, pondering the Grandmaster, a man whose passion for games knew no bounds, a man who gambled to the very end.
But here's the problem with it. There's a lot of problems with this Contest. But one of the big ones is, like, why would the Beast care if he ever plays games again? He didn't do jack shit. Only 12 people did something, and 8 of them were people that no one cared about. Like, who cares?
I'm sure it was stressful for him. Although I don't know what the stakes were exactly.
Exactly.
Like,
there are no stakes.
Grandmaster could die.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, the stakes on this are completely off. Like, there's no investment in if anyone wins, because who cares? No one gives a fuck about Grandmaster or the Collector. Like, you have to make it like Earth will perish or you heroes will all die.
Yes.
It can't be just a thing between Grandmaster and Collector. No one cares.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't know how you do that though, because if Death wins, the world dies or something. If that's the stakes, then why would anyone on Death's team try at all? It'd be like, okay, you guys win. We're gonna stand here and let you guys find the peace.
That's a good point. But they need to have some sort of stakes to make it more interesting, because it just isn't interesting.
True.
Or,
yeah,
I don't know. And I was going to say something else about this. But yeah, it's also kind of ridiculous how you have all these heroes and they're all just sitting around, standing in a room together, waiting for like 12 people. And all these heroes no one gives a damn about. Oh, yeah. Shamrock, an Arabian Knight.
No, I like them. What's wrong with them? Come on.
And they give them a couple wins too. It's not even just like, oh, they're just like the fucking pumps that the regular superheroes have to beat up on. No, they actually give them some wins, try to put them over.
Look at the wrestling terminology. Put them over. There's a few matches you've watched with Alexa Bliss have really paid off, Jank.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
But yeah, so Contest of Champions, this is just a disaster from start to finish. I don't know.
I think that's a little harsh.
Here's the thing. I can only compare it to Secret Wars, and I don't think it's much worse. It's...
All right, Secret Wars in concept is way better. But in execution, like the Jim Shooter dialogue and everything was terrible.
Yeah.
But we got Mike Zeck art. That was great.
Yeah.
Sure.
And again, the art here from Ramita in the second half is really strong. The first half, not so much.
It is funny, I must say, that people have such fond memories of Secret Wars, but nobody really talks about Contest of Champions.
There's a reason for that.
I do feel like the pacing is a little strange. Like, it probably should have been more than 3 issues. Because really, I mean, the first issue is just people getting kidnapped and sent to this world. You basically have 2 issues to have all these battles where, again, like we talked about, only a handful of heroes are involved. So if you would have stretched this thing out, had more pieces of this thing that they were going after, you could have had, more characters get involved and more battles and spend more time on them rather than just, we're going to rush this thing out.
Yeah, well,
I think the idea of a scavenger hunt is also weird.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been better if it's just champions fighting each other, and maybe
that is more how the other ones were. Instead
of having Death draft heroes, have Death just have a bunch of demons or evil people.
Right.
Yeah.
And Grandmaster takes the heroes as his champions, and then they go. But,
well, the other thing is I used to think of this as a prototype for Secret Wars or Crisis, but it isn't really, because I've read a lot of kind of not giveaways, but Marvel did a lot of tie-ins during this time, because I've read for example, Spider-Man and the Hulk at J.C. Penney or whatever. There'll be some weird giveaway where they're tied into some grocery store or market or whatever they're called. And I think this is closer to that, where they were this is I mean, I love John Romita, but this is kind of almost let's do this for kids, because kids are going to buy it because it's the Olympics. So we'll just make it a simple story that everyone can understand. And so it's not really a prototype for Secret Wars. It's probably why no one really remembers it fondly, because it's more like one of those giveaway comics, I think.
But again, Secret Wars was just done to sell toys.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Good point. Yep.
I don't know. Just an interesting idea, I guess, but they needed the stakes needed to be better, and the heroes involved needed to be better.
Right.
I could have used a little more time at the end with Grandmaster too, where he's just all right, I guess I'll die and bring the Collector back. Maybe a little bit of his reasoning of why he would want to make that sacrifice. Anything that he was actually thinking about this and had a real choice in front of him.
Right.
Just kind of oh wait, all right, I guess I'll bring him back. Bye. That's it. It was about 2 panels.
So then I guess the way they resolved this then in 87 is the Collector gets, I forget how they say they do this, but they send the Avengers into Death's world, Death's dimension or whatever, and they start tearing up Death's dimension they start fighting and causing kind of trouble. So Death has to intervene, and when Death intervenes, the Collector grabs her. I mean, that's what happens. and they he forces her. I don't know. They do something to get Grandmaster back.
Right.
Fiendishly clever plan. Just grab her.
I'll grab her. Like that snake on Captain America. There you go.
So yeah,
they tried to keep Death a secret in here. She'd already appeared, years before this, right? In the early 70s. So people couldn't have been surprised about this mysterious person in a purple robe being Death.
Right. Good point. Yeah, the whole time I was reading it, I'm what is the big secret? But obviously we have 40 years of hindsight, right? So it's kind of different, but.
All right, let's do this. Mike L., if you had you had to pick a team, a 3-person team.
Oh.
Who are you picking?
Well, I mean, I guess I'd pick Wolverine because he's one of my favorite characters.
All right.
Are we just talking about favorite characters, or who is the most powerful?
Well, if you're in this contest of champion situation, who are you picking? Now, keep in mind, you're picking Wolverine, but all he's doing is burning darts and causing trouble. You want him on a team?
Trying to murder.
I train to murder you. That's fair. No, but I would still pick him because I think he's great.
It's a bit of a hothead.
Yeah, I'd probably pick. What's funny? I'd probably pick the Thing too because he's so strong.
Oh.
And then obviously I would pick Shamrock for her good luck.
What about you, Jank? How say you?
I feel like I'd start with Doctor Strange because he'd probably find it in 1 second.
Good point. See,
use the Eye of Agamotto and just be well, there it is.
There you go.
That's pretty good. Now, would you even have anyone else, or just Doctor Strange, and that'd be it?
Well, I bring the Scarlet Witch just for personal reasons.
Yeah, Foxy. Gotta bring Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. And you know what? Let's throw in the Hulk. He's not going to be good for looking, but he'll beat down the other team.
Punch people.
Yeah, good point.
I don't know. I like Daredevil. I love Daredevil, and he's got good senses. So, and he did find the first piece of the globe, so obviously that's a solid choice. You can't go wrong. Captain America, he's a true leader. You know, you need that leadership. And Black Panther, he's pretty good too. They might be my 3. I don't know.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. You got street level there.
Yeah, I like street level fellas. Not very super strong or powerful, but they're smart and they're sneaky.
I've definitely not picked Sasquatch. Too much hair.
Too much complaining, right?
Yep.
Too hot, it's too cold. Come on. He's hungry.
Can't be satisfied. He's tired. He needs a nappy.
Anything else about Contest of Champions? We're done here.
I can only say that what's that?
A fun time was had by all.
Yeah. I mean, I can just say I only first read it for like 3 years ago, and I was surprised that I hadn't read it, but I kind of know why now.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I won't say it's terrible. It's just very, very dated. Like it's
racist.
It doesn't stand up to the. It doesn't stand up. Put it that way. Or hold up. I meant.
Oh, is it?
Well, for this being the first time that all the superheroes were together, it doesn't seem like it did a very good job of capitalizing on it. There wasn't time for them to like interact very much.
Right.
They'd be like, oh, hey.
Let's pull together hundreds of superheroes and have all but 12 sit in a waiting room.
Yeah. And you don't even get to see them having like conversations in the waiting room or something like, oh, hey, look at this guy.
It is pretty. You actually do in issue 1, like because when they first get there, like Spider-Man and Spider-Woman are chatting it up, and if like you look in the background, you can see Rom going over to talk to Pasta, like a robot lady.
That'd be cool to see. Yeah.
So they put in a few little things like that in issue 1.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but otherwise not so much. Trying to think. I guess the big ending when that story gets resolved. Hawkeye and Captain America are the only 2 left. Like everyone else is dead. And but they play a game with Grandmaster where Hawkeye says, "Guess the arrow." Like which one of these arrows has the arrow?
Oh, I did read about this. Yeah,
behind his back. So Grandmaster not being able to turn down a game of chance or anything, he says, "All right, yeah, we'll do that 50-50. I'll guess which arrow behind your back there." So he guesses, and then Hawkeye says, "Nope, you guessed wrong. No arrowhead on that arrow." But then he reveals to Captain America that he had cheated and he had the arrowhead in his hand.
Yeah. Classic Hawkeye.
That's how it ended.
The only thing I can say, though, it is cool to see all the Marvel heroes together in one story in 1982, right? Because this is the only time.
Are they in a story text? I mean, they're just in the background. They're just like not even doing anything.
Some of them are,
yeah. That's why when you said they're all in the story, I'm like, no, I remember there being like 12. And then like, no, but yeah, they're all just standing around, not doing anything.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah. Yep, just watching TV.
Yeah, it's not really having heroes in the story. It's having props in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Michael, 1 out of 10, Contest of Champions.
Woo! I'll give it a 5.5.
Benny's 5.5. Is that in honor of Collective Man that he was?
Well, it's just because like it's not a great issue, but it has enough historical significance that it makes me. I could read it again, even though it's not a great story. Yeah, I've already reviewed it twice. Of course, I can read it again.
Holy hell! Yeah. All right, Jank.
I think I would go about a 5, right there in the middle. Some of the art was pretty good. I always like seeing Romita Jr., even if it's early. The story wasn't the greatest, but it also wasn't terrible. Like it was an entertaining enough read.
Yeah. See?
The way you've been selling it, you're like, oh, they completely ruined the ending by just copping out. But they did have people win the prizes and stuff like that. So it's not like they just canceled the contest halfway through. So,
but they just did it wrong. They added it wrong.
Yeah, they did the math wrong. That's a problem.
There's your 0.5 right there. Otherwise, it'd be a 6.
I don't know. I don't like any of this, but I did reading it again though. I did like Romita's art in the second half. That's classic Romita there at the end. So I like that, but I really can't go higher than a 3.
What?
This is not good. Oh, yeah, because these Shamrocks and those kind of heroes are terrible. Like the depictions of Captain America, Wolverine, they're terrible. Like, the dialogue is terrible. There are no stakes. Why do I care about the Grand Master and the Collector? And they added wrong. What am I supposed to do? Added wrong.
Yeah, as an accountant, I should probably be more upset about that, but I don't know. I let it slide.
I can't go higher than 3.
Harsh.
Contest of Champions. Not so much. All right. Well, next week, Michael, I'm still a little sour the way Shocktober went.
Oh.
I wasn't satisfied. I didn't think you upheld your end of the bargain with Shocktober.
I think I did.
So
but
we're
It
going to
was a little
extend
weak
it.
sauce. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we're going to extend it one more week here.
Ooh.
And we're going to go back to our buddy. We're going to take another trip back to the Tomb of Dracula.
Oh, nice. What?
Oh.
I didn't know you could repeat books. No, I'm just kidding.
You do that repeatedly.
I know. It's true.
We're going to go. I think this is the first time I've picked the same book, though.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But we're going to go Tomb of Dracula, issue 44 from 1976. Jank, you might be interested in this. It features a fella called Dr. Strange.
Oh.
Nice.
Because his buddy Wong gets bitten by a vampire.
Uh-oh.
So Dr. Strange has to match wits with Dracula. And I think Blade the Vampire Hunter is also.
Uh-oh. We got Wong.
So we're extending Shocktober one more week.
Awesome. We skipped this week, but we're extending it to next week.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you let the people down, so obviously you're going to
No.
skip again. But I'm a people's champion. I got to, make sure Shocktober gets its rightful due.
I dug deep for mine. I went all the way back to Kid Colt.
Didn't go deep enough.
Fans appreciate it, trust me.
Do they?
Yeah, I think so.
We have fans?
No, we don't, so it doesn't matter. Anyway. All right, well, yeah, I guess that's it. We want to thank Kevin Jank for joining us for appearance number 8, right, Kevin Jank?
9.
Number 9.
Son of a...
Yeah.
Right now.
Don't you try to
9.
round down on me.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when, what's his name, Miles was on, he
What's
actually...
his name?
Yeah.
Put some respect on our guest 9
Yeah.
times. And
He's only been on 9 times. Why would I know his name? But he actually appeared 2 weeks in a row in order to pass you. Did you know that?
Oh, I'm keenly aware.
Yeah. Painfully aware, yeah.
Yep. Just wait for January.
That's
Oh, that's right. All right, so until then, we got more Bronze Age comic book reviews coming up, including an extended Shocktober next week in the middle of November. That's fine. Each week we review a different Bronze Age comic book. 1 week I pick, 1 week Mike Dell picks. You can find all of our episodes under Comic Book Syndicate on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and the Comic Book Syndicate website. So until next Tuesday, disperse!